And we're back.
Hello, and welcome.
For episode 16 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. This episode apparently, according to Chat GPT, lied. Or maybe got really confused.
I don't know if it was like groundbreaking. Do you? Like, it wasn't. I'm not complaining about the episode, but I didn't get the vibe that it was like a groundbreaking episode that, you know, they were promising or anything.
I think it was groundbreaking in a way. I mean, I guess like I don't think it was. It might have been disappointing, but I feel like it was groundbreaking in a way just for Zine specifically, because I mean, it seemed like the later half of the episode was mostly dedicated to him. But could have been better. Could have not been. Could the word groundbreaking not been used? Yeah, I agree with that. I'm trying to remember what the beginning of the episode was. Let's go pull it up.
It's Long Lived Friends is the name of the episode.
No, I'm aware. I'm just trying to remember what the beginning. Okay, look at the beginning. Just we see Zion as a little kid fishing, and his best friend going to pull him for a picture. Apparently, a picture is a new thing in that world. Really talk about it.
Can I make a point there that something that stuck out to me?
Go right ahead.
In Kino's Journey, there was an episode called Land of Wizards. And in Land of Wizards, there was the wizards in Kino's Journey weren't actual literal wizards. They were more like inventors and scientists. And what they would often invent is things like a camera. And it was just very interesting because like that was like exactly the kind of thing that you would have seen like in Land of Wizards, where they would have called it a wizard or a mage, but it wouldn't have I don't know. It was just like very interesting that that came into play that way, because I don't know, the wizards in Kino's Journey like did the exact same thing. It felt like a callback to Kino's Journey, like a very, very subtle one, but it felt like a callback to Kino's Journey to me.
Well,
did they call them wizards or mage? Because I guess that's kind of significant. Did they call them wizards or mages?
But in Frieren? In Frieren, are you talking about Kino's Journey? I could not tell you for
in Frieren.
I believe it was they called it like a mage was here to take a picture of them.
Mm.
I mean, the picture kind of came into play anyway. A few minutes in, we see the signs looking at a picture of him and his best friend and the locket. But again, this is to show like how close these two were. Then the episode begins with the intro. They come to their first town. Oh yeah, that's the first town with the dwarf that Frieren met 80 years ago with her earlier group. And apparently she had brought the group there to have the dwarf train Stark, which was happening in the background. Surprisingly, what I will say, like, what caught me off guard with that guy wasn't the fact that like he was pretending to be senile, which Frieren kind of broke that facade real quick. What kind of caught me off guard was like he completely incapacitated Stark, and all he really did was hit him in the leg with the sheath of his sword. I actually sat there really confused. I was like, wait, did he act what? I was like, how did he? And keep in mind, Stark isn't exactly a lightweight. Um, so to completely take him out, even though he wasn't paying attention, which is the problem, is that Stark was underestimating him, which was the lesson being told there. But at the same time, like, I've never seen anybody completely get knocked out like that. I mean, it was like, Stark was out cold. It was just the concept of like he hit him not that hard, and somehow it took out his entire leg or his legs because he couldn't move. I'm like, are you serious? Like, that is ridiculous. I'm not sure how. I guess another thing too is interesting that Stark has been trained twice now by dwarves. Like Eisen and now this dude. But like, I mean, that was kind of cool. That's the guy. The dwarf also had a sword, but I just thought it was intriguing. I guess another small part too is like they were traveling in the direction of this town where the dwarf was heading, as a because Frieren wanted to talk with him, and she was very excited to talk with him because I guess not many people are capable of chatting with her about like 80 years ago, like it was yesterday. So she was very excited, and Fern made it was like, well, if it really means this much to you, then I guess we can make this detour. And then Frieren kind of, I don't know if she was joking about this, but she makes the comment like, we're gonna be here for like 10 years or whatever like that. And then Fern's like, I said a week. Did you hear me? I was like, yeah, Fern, I think she's
Which to her is like almost the same thing. 10 years is just a little bit longer than a week.
It was interesting for that to come out and Fern kind of get mad at her. But yeah, basically we see we see them staying in town for a week, and we see in training that the dwarf that Frieren met. Did we ever learn his name? I thought they gave a name for him, but I don't remember his name. I guess I'd be remiss to bring this up because I know it's gonna happen and it's gonna be beaten over my head. Yes, I noticed the moments where Fern was not mean to Stark. Okay,
you did.
I seen the
you
moments.
Noticed that they were like
I noticed
talking
the moments
to each other.
that you don't need to be condescending to me. Okay, you don't need to be condescending to me. I am aware. I've seen the moments. Okay, it doesn't mean anything yet. It just so happens they're acting cute together after the episode. I did see them. I'm not being ignorant to those moments. Okay. I know that's gonna get beaten up in my head. That is adding more fuel to this. I feel like I'm being targeted now, and in not so positive way. But like at this point right now, they keep doing this. Okay. Yeah, I like the moment where she, Stark, offered his hand and she actually took it to get off the log. And then later on, we see that Fern is walking right next to him and talking to him. So yes, I noticed the moments. I don't need to be reminded. Okay.
Okay.
This is for the future. But yeah, that's before they make it to the town, though. It's interesting too, design-wise. Like, I thought maybe, and I was only really basing this off of Eisen's look. I thought most of the dwarves were gonna probably have a lot of facial hair to the point where it's covering their entire face and you can't really see anything. Clearly that's not the case, that's just a style choice that Eisen took. Also, this guy, the dwarf that we met here, he's got white hair, so I don't think Eisen's dying anytime soon. Like, he's got like white hair and it seems like he's closer to death. And this is the main reason why Frieren decided to make the detour to meet him. Because he wasn't sure she was going to be able to meet him anytime later. So, I'm guessing, I'm just basing off the looks and saying that he's close to death, and, Stark wants to do something nice for Eisen. It's like, I don't think Eisen's dying anytime soon. Like, the only way I could see Eisen dying is somebody were to kill him.
Yeah, I don't think I think Eisen's got like 100 years left. If you're going to ask me.
Yeah, we see them staying in the town and helping people out, like Frieren picking up carrots. Oh yeah, Zion even takes his time to go and ask the villagers if they've seen Gorilla Warrior. Is the nickname he chose for himself. Apparently it's been so long they don't really remember. But they do know that he was here, but they don't remember what direction he went because it's been so long since he dropped by. Um, yeah, like get some memories of when Himmel was here. He also gets information, and I guess also like Frieren herself was kind of displaying some actual emotion here with like being happy to see him, and then also remembering Himmel, and also we get words from her saying that like Himmel's the reason why she wanted to get to know everybody in her. Well, she said the dwarf was the reason why she wanted to get to know everybody, and then Himmel was also a contributing factor to that too. It's more confirmation that Himmel was like a decent dude. But it's interesting considering the way he talked when we first saw him. He kind of seemed like full of himself, but we learned that he's not really that way at all.
What did you say?
I was like, it's kind of interesting with how these memories of Himmel were getting when you first meet him in the first episode. It seemed like to me he was kind of full of himself for some reason. But I was like, I guess that's not really how he is based off the memories that we're getting of him from Frieren and everybody else. But I think that's just a nice little detail. And then we, I guess one of the other, small things too with the dwarf before they leave the town is like wondering why he's been protecting this village for like 100 years, stuff like that. And I think this is another case of like interracial marriage. No, not racial. Inter-species relationships and stuff like that. The dwarf actually had a wife, a human wife, and she died, obviously because of old age. But apparently he made a promise to her when she was alive to protect the village always. And he's been protecting this village ever since that she's been dead. And I think she's been dead for like 80 years now, possibly. Maybe a little bit longer than that. But he's been protecting it. And I guess the thing to take away from here is like he's keeping a promise to somebody long dead. Because it matters to him. And I forget what Frieren says. I'm pretty sure Josh got that in his notes somewhere. But Frieren makes a mention about that too, about like something mattering to her. I think that's about it. Like Stark gets his training from the dwarf guy. You see, he took down a freaking bear monster or something equivalent to it. Like I thought it was interesting that he sat on top of it. There was another like I think it was the very beginning of his of Stark's training. I kind of got like a little bit Dragon Ball Z vibes from it, but it was when Stark was carrying a giant boulder like twice his size. But not just that, the dwarf dude was on top of it, weighing it down even more. And it just reminded of Goku carrying a rock or whatever, like he carrying a boulder like he did back in Dragon Ball Z when I saw it. I was like, oh my goodness, what in the world? Like, it just reminded me a little bit of Master Roshi. But
that makes a lot of sense.
that was interesting a little bit. If like, they shown like the relationship between Frieren and him. And I think after that, like they leave. After that, like they have a week there, and then they leave. And then the next town that they get to, and they're like, I think a town or so close to Arale. I think it's how you pronounce it. The town they need to get certified, and they stop in another town in the middle of their trip because Zion wants to like make some inquiries, and then Zion starts asking around about Gorilla Warrior, and some people say, "Oh yeah, we remember him. He helped us out here." And Stark surprised that people remember him being called Gorilla Warrior. Like, well, I mean, he did say that he was a memorable. He wanted his name to be memorable, and he certainly achieved that. Like say it's been a long time, and then he went in this direction. Well, they're looking for somebody who might know where he went. They don't know, and they direct them to an old lady on a hill that apparently was good friends with him. But they call her a stubborn old bag or like that, and Stark's like, well, that's just rude. And then they meet her, and he's like, I am a stubborn old bag. I was like, oh, that's why they call her that, because she calls herself that. So I was like, oh, okay. we're getting consistent themes of people want memorable names now, but like they don't. They try to get some information out of her. She's very stubborn, but uh, then she says like, "I will tell you information if you do things for me," and she gives them a list of things for them to do for her, and then starts like, "Man, we're gonna be here forever." Like, or Fern's like, "Is this normal?" And then Frieren unprompted kind of says like, "Well, Himmel used to do this kind of thing all the time when we were journeying," and she was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, he kept on doing it." I was like, "I guess that's true." Himmel was a decent dude. After all, we keep on hearing that he was always doing things for other people. I'm starting to wonder if that contributed to her treasure hunting, sickness, because like she does like to go treasure hunting a lot. But
I wouldn't be too surprised.
But after that, like after doing a couple of quests, they're wondering if they're gonna keep on doing things for her, and then she makes one last request, and that's to take them down to a hero statue that's at the foot of their village. And at first, when I heard hero statue, I immediately thought like, wait, there's a statue of the hero group down here? Wait, how did nobody recognize Frieren? And lo and behold, that is not what was down there. That was a statue of somebody who looked like Zion and somebody who looks a lot like Croft down there. So I think we got confirmation that Frost's past is important somewhat, because it seems like he might have been a prestigious hero at some point in the past, and people have forgotten him, which is sad. But I guess that's another thing too, going on. So if people will remember you, and having names that help people remember you, and like Croft just happens to be the victim of the latest "it's been so long since someone's uttered their name for anybody to care" thing. It's kind of sad. That makes me wonder, is like, I don't know, you're probably not changed your mind on Croft having some really, really bad backstory. But like, I mean, like, why make a statue honoring him if he wasn't a decent dude?
They made him about. I did wonder about this quite a bit. They did make them after Frieren, and we're wondering about Frieren right now. I know that probably sounds like a stretch to you, but it is true.
Frieren was the hero group and they defeated the Demon King. That's why they made the statue. They're heroes that people like revere. I still don't think Frieren's evil or has evil intentions, or like, or like, I mean, not really saying you're saying she's evil, more like I feel like she's just weird because she's weird. I don't think there's really anything more to it than that. Because even Fern says like everybody here is socially awkward. I'm just like, okay, like that helps me stay true to my opinion, but okay. But the Croft is here, and he's got a hero statue. Is what they called it, a hero statue. You don't normally erect a hero statue unless the person did heroic acts. Whoever that other guy is, I don't know. I mean, they don't even make mention of him. They just say that there's somebody there that looks like Zion, but no one knows who he is. At least nobody said who he was. It kind of just seemed like it was like secondary to us saying that Croft was on that statue. This is another thing too, and that kind of proves that there are definitely other statues in this world of people who have saved people in the past. This is just proof that there are other statues besides of the hero group. So I wonder who else has got statues running around placed in certain towns. The Croft is one of them, so it's possible that there's other adventurers that have long since passed that have statues erected in their honor. Basically, the lady just wants them to clean that statue off, and apparently Frieren makes a mark like, well, too bad this wasn't copper. I could have used my spell. But after that, quick. Okay, so after that, they were about to leave, and then Zion's asking the old lady about information about his friend, and then it gets revealed after we see Zion walking back with a distraught look on his face that it sounds like they don't know exactly where his friend is, but it sounds like he made tracks towards another town that's like east of where they're currently going, and that's pretty much how the episode ends. Is Zion like we're getting the he's gonna have to make a decision here, and I'm firmly on the side of I think he's going to leave, but he may come back. But I'm on the side that like he's gonna leave, but Spears on the side that like he's going to stay. So if only, I mean, maybe we can get a poll going and hear what people believe, or I guess maybe at this point we're really behind the 8 ball here, so people already know the answers. So never mind. Well, we'll find out next week what that is. The answer to that is I think he's going to leave, but I could be completely wrong. But
So let's Venn diagram this. Like, what would be behind the decision for him to leave?
He's there. He only joined them to find his friend. It seems like now he's been given direction to find him. Like, why wouldn't he? He made that evident. They say he's only joined them for that reason. He tells them. He even reminds them that at the very beginning of the episode, that's his reasoning for being there. To me, it's like he knows nobody in that group. He's formed a semi-functional relationship with everybody there. I think semi-functional because they still don't really know each other all that well. He's not been there for maybe more than, I said earlier, 2 months. I might be overstating that, but I don't know. It just feels like he hasn't been there long enough. In 4, I just don't think they really need a priest all that much, because like, well, I understand story reasons of storing needs.
But they're not like, I know the priest part. Are you talking about from like the perspective of the party, or from the perspective of the writing?
I heard that last perspective of the writing, but like perspective of what was that? The first thing you said?
Are you talking about like the party doesn't need him, like the party might tell him they don't need him, or are you talking about the writers like not needing him?
I think both, because like, I mean, again, like they made it this far without him, and on top of that, while harsh as it is, they can just avoid the towns that got curses in them. They don't necessarily need to interact with them. The only reason why they would really need to interact with them is if they had a priest in tow. I know it's a bad excuse and really messed up excuse, but it's like you don't necessarily need to involve yourself in things you can't solve. And Frieren's made it obvious that she can't learn clerical magic, and she doesn't necessarily believe in the goddess, as far as we can tell. So she's got no reason to learn anything about priest stuff. And while I will sit there and say like I understand that that you make as a writing technique, you make situations that are used for some characters, and I get that he hasn't been here all that long, but I feel like Fern and Stark have made themselves really useful when they first joined the group versus this guy. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve that exact same chance, but it's like, to me, like they're making it really evident with what he's saying. He doesn't really want to be in that group. He wants to be with his best friend. The only way to solve that is to leave the group. Like, to me, it's like he doesn't know anybody. He has no real reason to stay with them. Like, I mean, beyond a professional obligation. But even then, it's like, again, I still hang on the fact that he really is just looking for his best friend. The only real way that could happen for him to stay with them is if his best friend were to die, or he just were to give up on his best friend. But I don't think either one's going to happen.
What if he learns like sort of a lesson from all this?
What kind of lesson would he learn? What? Enlighten me.
What if he's just like, what if what happens is he's just like, I think I've learned what my friend figured out long ago, that like I just have to enjoy the journey, you know what I mean, or something like that, and he goes off to enjoy the journey.
So you're saying you believe he's just going to give up on finding his friend, or like making that his main prerogative? Is like it's just a side thing if he still happens to cross his path?
No, maybe he's like, the best way, obviously I'm going to forever be like a year behind my friend. The best way I can honor my friend right now would be to embrace the journey and like go on the journey like that he's been going on. I
guess, but like based off the next town that his friend visited, I highly doubt that. Well, I guess you're saying like like not forgetting, but like I guess honoring his friend with thing. But I don't know. He just doesn't know these people. And I'm not saying he can't get to know them, but it's like at this point, it feels almost purposeful that they're introducing this at a point
Mhm.
where it doesn't seem like he really knows the group that he's hanging around all that well. And my honest opinion is that if you believe that you're not gonna really get to know them all that well until like you spend a lot of time with them, and your main goal happens to differ that much from theirs, um,
Mhm.
I guess why stick around when you know that your friend is off to the east? Because also I will sit there and say the other solution is for Fern, not Fern. Their solution is for Frieren to say that okay, we're gonna make a detour to go to this new town, but based on what Frieren just said before the episode ended, it sounded like they didn't want to do that. It sounded like they really wanted to get to where they were going. They did not want to make a detour, for the newbie of their group. Even though that's the main reason why he joined them. Well, I understand your reasoning and everything like that. I just don't know. It just, to me, it's like I've seen this play out where a character that joins usually has a fork in the road, and they typically take the fork in the road. You know, the road that people don't want them to do, which is go off on their own. And while I can see that being the main reason too why he shouldn't do it is because he'd be on his own. But it's like he does got battle magic. It's not like he's completely he's not like he's unable to protect himself. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like to me like they've done this before. Now they could, pull the rug from underneath me and say that he is staying, but it's like to me it's like, why haven't I seen him in any promotional material? This is like bugging me. I feel like I would have seen him with them at some point, and some of the stuff I've seen a year or so ago, he's been in nothing. Like, which is another reason why it makes me believe that he might not be sticking around. Because a character like that, I feel like I would have seen a lot more of him in places, even just random. Like, who's that random fourth guy with him? And I will admit that's not a strong reason, but it just like. I feel like if he's a part of the main crew, an image of him would have floated around at some point. And even now, I haven't seen many images of the Frieren group with him in it. So either one or two things is like, one is that he's just not as popular, therefore you're not going to find a lot of them on the internet unless you're searching for it. Or two, he just doesn't stick around. And maybe he doesn't leave now, but maybe he leaves later. To me, it doesn't seem like he's intending to stick around with this group. It's like he'd rather be with his best friend because he's got more of a connection with him than Stark, Frieren, or Fern. I don't know.
I think even if he does part ways, I think it's clear that he's going to be meeting up with him again. There's no reason that they would establish this character and then get rid of him.
Is he really established? I mean, they gave him character motivation, something like that, so I understand like that, but it's like I feel like I'm not as attached to him. I think that's another problem too. There's nothing I'm not as attached to him as I would say I'm attached to Fern, Frieren, or Stark. And I get that he's only been here for so many episodes, so there's only so much they can do about that. But even when he first went, I wasn't really all that gravitated towards him. And again, I remember I said this all up. I was shocked that he joined. I was under the impression there was only gonna be 3 of them. So his addition just kind of came out of left field for me, and it just didn't seem like it was gonna happen. When they do keep going in his background, but it's just I'm getting this strange feeling that he's just not gonna stick around. Like maybe they meet him in another town with his best friend, maybe, and they chat with their adventures, but then they part ways again. Maybe it's just that we know he's in the world, and we may or may not see him again. Who knows? Well, I understand it's like why introduce a character that they're gonna get rid of? It's like, but I don't know. It's just like, why give him this motivation that seems like it's gonna tear him away from these people versus bringing him closer to them? Like I could see like if he came along because he wanted to see this land that Frieren spoke of, but he said like I thought we were all gonna go there eventually, but he didn't know. I don't know if he knew she was being serious about going to a land that was supposed to be bridging life and death. I think. I don't know if he really believes what she had said to him was the main reason why they were traveling, but he doesn't like seem to have that much of a connection with anybody. Like the most connection I think I've seen him have is with Fern specifically, and I think that's really only because Fern has got a background with Priest, so it just makes a lot of sense in that regard. Him and Stark don't exactly get along all that well, even when they do kind of get along. Frieren just kind of pokes fun at him. Like to me, it's like none of them really have bonded. I mean, easily can be fixed with them staying.
That's like part of the storyline. Like they're still kind of like getting the hang of them, right?
I mean, I guess yeah, but my bigger issue is like, why have him repeat that he's like, because I get it, he's trying to find his best friend, but to me, it's like if he wasn't really repeating it as much as he was, to me, I could believe he can be swayed. To me, because like my initial thought process for him, and this is gonna be real for a minute, not that I haven't been real, but it's gonna be really real here. When he first joined, my thought process was that we're going to find his best friend, and possibly what's going to happen is he's either going to be given a choice to leave or go with him, but he might just stay because he's formed a relationship and a connection with everybody there. Well, that can't happen right now because he hasn't been with them long enough. I feel like he needs to be with them at least for half a year at the very least. So, like, I mean, for him to form a connection that would mean anything. And I get the whole point is just to, watch us, have him form a bond, but it's like he's been literally given a split in the road for him right now, because his whole initial thing was I want to find my best friend, and he's been hammering that home for a while now that that's what he's really trying to do. That's all he's interested in. So like if he hadn't been saying that for so many times for the short amount of time we've been with him, I would believe you that maybe he is going to stick around. But like since he seems to be so positive and this is what he wants to do, I can't imagine, realistically speaking, why his character would stick around. The only other way that he can stick around is if we just know that he's in the world and we may run into him eventually, but he's not going to come back and join them again. Like maybe they'll have like an episode or two-parter where there's a curse in a town and that he shows up just so like so like at the right time to help them out. Like it's like I could literally say like I'm not saying I want him to disappear. I'm just saying that I can't imagine him sticking around with them if like their goals are so different.
I don't know. I think it would be kind of cool if there was like a bigger. I think it would be cool if there was a bigger message that like he learned something about himself and what he wanted, and brought it with him to like the next stage of the story. And I think that there's also something equally cool about the idea that he would like that kind of fly-by-night feeling of the show would be kind of cool too. That like they'd just be like, oh, okay, like you know what I mean, like we'll catch you soon, I'm sure, and he goes off and we don't see him for 10 episodes. I don't want him to be completely gone forever.
That's what I was saying. I don't know if like, again, I've seen too many times if like, they do this kind of thing with a character that has like a different like objective than everybody else in the show. And typically speaking, he does disappear, but he shows back up again. Like whatever character disappeared, if there's like a point in interesting point in the show that they could just bring him back for story relevance, yeah, for sure. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I can see the path that leads him into his friend being more important than trying to form a real family with the group that he's been with for a little bit, because he's already got a family and he's just trying to find him again because it's been 10 years since he last saw him, and he would like to know if he's still alive. And while I understand like him, like I said, like I could definitely see what they could do is just when he leaves and says goodbye or whatever like that. If that's what happens, like he says see you around, and like that's just saying okay, he's in the world right now doing his own thing. Obviously, we're going to see him again. If he joins back up again, that'd be really strange. But I will say, not that I was never open to new characters. What my thought was like, I thought, okay, when Stark joins, that's it. We're not getting any new main characters. Sign showing up was like, oh, okay. And now I'm starting to think that okay, maybe that's the idea, is that maybe that fourth spot is just gonna be rotated in and out of, and there's gonna be different people in that spot for different reasons. That's like where I think maybe they're trying to go by, and it still gives that whole fly by night, of like you meet people and then they're in your life for a little bit and then they leave for any multitude of reasons. People are fickle. They don't stick around. It's not realistic to expect a person to stick around in your life for forever, because you never know what their goals are or what's going to get in, present themselves as an idea or an opportunity. Not will I say, will I be upset if Sign were to leave? I mean, yeah, obviously, but I'm just not as attached to him as I really wish I was, to make this decision a little bit harder on me. And it's unfortunate it's not, because I think he's a cool character. I'm just not as attached to him. He hasn't had enough cool moments or little interesting moments with him and the gang. It just seems like suddenly, oh, here's an opportunity to find your friend, just shows up out of nowhere. Like, okay, I was expecting that to maybe be at the end of the season, but no, they introduced it like almost 3 episodes after he joins. That seems on purpose. Like they actually want to get rid of him, but I guess like I could definitely see him wandering the world, and we don't know if he ever finds his friend, and at some point we find him in a town further out, and he's with his friend, and it's like, oh, he found him, and that'd be kind of cool. He found his best friend out there.
I agree. This was probably, for me, like the most different episode that we've seen so far in tone and approach, and the way that Frieren is portrayed. Like, it's a very, very, very subtle but extremely, in my opinion, different take on Frieren. Do you think so?
What do you mean? You mean this episode in particular, how she's acting?
She's sentimental, she's warm, she's like emotional, she's outpouring like on Old Man Vol. She at one point is easily offended. Like, there's just a lot going on here.
I feel like that's just how introverts are. They don't like, and a lot of people are going to have different opinions on this. I've seen this pop up a lot lately. Like, introverts aren't this way, or introverts like. But like, as far as I can tell, as being one, as I say so myself, like typically the way people that don't like social interaction all that much, or like, let's say people have this wrong assumption with introverts in general. It's not that they don't like talking to people. It's that being spoken to randomly out of nowhere and not being prepared is just as anxiety inducing as anything else. That person's gonna have to want to engage with you, and for a lot of times, the easiest person to do that, somebody that they know, like somebody that they've known for years. I feel like this is an example of, and on top of that, Fern says it, the entire group is introverted, or socially awkward. I should say not introverted, but socially awkward. But that's the same thing. It's like socially awkward people have the same exact issue of just like, unless that person knows that person, they're not going to interact with you the same way you're interacting with them. You're not going to get the same energy back. You're only going to get that back if you know them.
Yeah, she's even insightful at the beginning. Like the way she's like, don't give us that crap to him, like when he's trying to pretend like he's old and feeble.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like she knows him. It's not like she doesn't know him.
Mhm.
Like she's known of this guy for years. That's what I'm saying. Like I
Yeah.
think that's what I think. I just like for me, it's like I know you're taking a lot of her moments as meaning they're trying to make comparisons to demons. Like that's why I find it really difficult. I mean, your assumptions. I'm not telling you your assumptions are wrong. I'm just saying, for me, I don't believe it because I'm looking at her mannerisms as just a person who is just socially awkward. On top of that, you know, she spent a lot of her time alone in the woods, as you mentioned before. She likes to pick up flowers.
Mhm.
It's just like a hobby I've noticed she's gotten. It's like how a lot of her mandarins are just of somebody who's just not that interested in communicating with people all that much. And it's like, you know, people who interact with people like that, just in general, typically think that this person is being rude, but like that's not really the case. Or this person's being mean, demonic, or being spiteful. They're not being that
Mhm.
way. That's just their defensive mechanism of shutting down. And it's unfortunate because it's not a mechanism that they engage. It's a mechanism that just immediately activates. It's like a program, and the program is just set to do this when they meet somebody they don't know. To me, it's like I just think she's acting this way because she's not used to actively engaging with people that she doesn't know and should get to know, versus like somebody like that old man that she met, and she's been this way, and then
Mhm.
she's very bubbly, she's very responsive, she wants to talk. This is unusual for her, and I just find that socially awkward. You know, it's just, oh, this person she just knows, she knows them really well, and this person knows her back. You know, it's like, okay, that's actually kind of adorable in a really interesting way. Like this is just showing that she does have this in her. It's just something that she doesn't actively display or sell. Um, she's very emotionally repressed. Again, another, I wouldn't say it's a trait of a social awkward person, but it's definitely a person that just doesn't interact with people all that often. You know,
Mhm.
like me, for instance, I won't shut up on this podcast. But in real life, I'm not that way at
Yeah,
all.
that's not true. You're
Well,
not. You're not
you
talking
know,
too much. You're kind of carrying because I don't have as much to say about this episode as the other ones we've watched. But I do think that Frieren like came out in a way that we haven't seen before for this particular episode, and I did want to like it does contradict a lot of the things that I've thought about her. Like I'm like, oh, isn't that interesting? Like Farron is like arguing and like calling bullshit and like I don't know, just like um Joel and like pursuing somebody because she actively wants to get them to know them a lot better, and the only one that sees what's going on with this person. I guess that could be her battle instincts because like she did see like intention to attack a little bit there, but I don't know. There just seemed to be a lot of things happening here that were just a little bit different than usual, you know?
now I get it, but I'm saying I feel like that was just always within her, and again, it just like again, as like I like to keep going back to the whole introverted, or not even. I'm not going to drop the introverted, socially awkward people in general, just in
Mm-hmm.
real life, people who do not, and people who don't know this, like really take notice of these people in your life, because you will notice
Mm-hmm.
them because they like to keep to themselves for the most part, but they
Mm-hmm.
broadcast a lot of signals to let you know that you know they're trying to stay away from people. And while I, as a person who's like that, would like to you know battle that, don't do that to them, because all you're gonna really do is push them further away, because like they're gonna like the more uncomfortable they feel, the less ability you're gonna have for them to come out of their shell. And again, it's like with Frieren here, she came out of her shell right for the only time we'll see
Mm-hmm.
this season, with a guy that she knew. So I suspect is like on top of that too, we don't really know what Frieren was like before her village got attacked. It's 100% possible that the way she's acting is really just she's traumatized. You brought this up earlier that Frieren might be traumatized. We don't really know that because she doesn't talk about herself a lot, like at all. Um, the things we learn about her only come from her actions. But we don't really know about her personally because we don't know what she was like before her village got attacked. It's possible that she was always like this, but then when her village got attacked, she kind of clammed up. You know, she was still traumatized, and she's still dealing with that trauma, and it probably has a lot to do with the fact that she does have demon like tendencies, mainly because she saw that when she was in that village, her hometown.
Hmm.
not long ago. Again, these are assumptions I'm making, but these are the best assumptions for like why I believe that it's possible that she could have always been like this. It's just that it just took the right circumstance. Like that's why it's like for me, like last week when I was like I wasn't arguing for the sake of arguing. For me, just to me, I haven't seen anything convincing enough for me to believe that she is like secretly um planning something, not even diabolical, just something self interested, because she seems way too lazy for that kind of thing, and or at least not even lazy, just like less interested in doing things for like, I guess, I mean, her learning magic is for self edification, but it's like even beyond that, I don't think she's doing much more than looking for magic. And it seems like she's looking for magic that's just completely useless for no good reason because she finds it intriguing. Like I could argue, I could agree with you if she was looking for magic that was able to destroy lands, but like she's not doing that. She's looking for all kinds of just tomes that have interesting magic. It seems like she has less interest in learning powerful magic and more interested in learning um potpourri. Anything that she can get her hands on that really doesn't have a immediate use.
I agree.
But yeah, here I
She's
saw this
definitely
episode.
like she's definitely like collecting magic like she's some sort of hoarder more than anything else.
Yeah, I just like in general with this episode, I did find it interesting. I did take note that she's actually opening up a lot more. This is a side we don't see of her like at all. Like, this is the first time. So like honestly, in my honest opinion, we might see more of this side of her later. But it
Hmm.
might take characters that she's known for a while for that to come out, because it seemed like it only came out when she was talking to him. Like she's not as like dry talking to Stark or like Fern, but she's not this way when talking with Fern, like at all. Like this is like, again, like you would probably think this is a different character, but no, it's Frieren. But as I was saying, like to me, like at this point, like this is kind of just helped me solidify my stance on that. I don't think she's got ill intent, or what, I don't know what, I forget exactly what you said, that you may believe she's hiding something, because I don't know about that. Like I find it difficult, and this episode did nothing more than maybe solidify my stance on that. I don't get anything else to say. I don't know if you got more notes or or you need to start your notes. I'll just shut up and let you start your notes.
Um, just think if there's anything I missed. I really did like the I know you I'm not doing this because I told you so kind of thing, but like I really did enjoy the moments at the beginning between Fern and Stark. That he helped her like dismount off the river and she accepted the help, and how hang on a second. And how like they were talking and laughing and falling behind the others and pairing off. I did note. I do think that like if Sign stays, it might be because Frieren is slowly becoming a love interest. Because I did feel like he was like giving her eyes at like 4 minutes, like where he was thinking about her a little, just a little bit maybe.
I guess. I mean, I will say, I guess, just the whole pro hot Frieren. I I will say, for a character, the way she looks and knowing how old she is, I rarely fall into the, I would say, trap of finding characters like that attractive. Like this particular show is like Frieren, the ponytail last episode really did it for me for some strange reason. So
Really?
yeah, for some strange reason, I didn't say it at the time, but well, I didn't say it because I was more ranting about Fern, but
Mm-hmm.
something about um Freeren's ponytail, like the hairstyle she had going for herself, and then just like, it's like, I know it's a joke that like the whole her throwing a kiss at a sign because she was trying to get him to come with them and whatever like that. I know that was a joke, but I think like it's interesting to say. I will say this much: Frieren is not bad looking. Like she actually is attractive, and it's like one of the weirdest attractions I've actually had to an anime character.
Yeah.
um, it's like she, like, again, it's like she is hot. Like I think I want to say I think Frieren is definitely attractive. So I mean, if Zine were to fall for her, I guess I would say, oh, okay. I mean, that means he's got more in his mind about like about a female partner besides her being 10 years older than he is. Like, and I suspect he's definitely got
Mhm.
more in his mind than her age. But at the same time, it's like he kind of like expels this, considering that Fearing keeps telling him like, well, she is the oldest woman out there. No woman will be older than her.
Yeah.
But yeah, like again, it's like just to solidify what you just said about maybe Elevator's like, yeah, she is attractive. She is actually hot. I don't know what last episode did, but it might just be because maybe the ponytail thing, and then the one ponytail thing, maybe that's what happened. Because sometimes like that type of hairstyle kind of makes a woman look more mature. So, and even now, I still find her attractive. So, like, it unlocked something. That's all I want to say. And this isn't a joke either.
I know.
I'm saying that for the people out there.
It was interesting too, for Frieren. Like, this is the first time that it seems like it's bothered her that she lives for her, like how long she lives, because it occurred to her, like, for the first time, she's like, "Look, if I care about people," which is a kind of a new thing for her, then like it's gonna hurt eventually. You
I
know,
feel like she
like when
learned
she's
that
talking,
earlier though.
she's starting to, but I think this is one of the first times it's really hit her. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this stuff is gonna hurt. You know, like it's gonna be a big deal.
I didn't really pick up on it. I guess I missed over it, but yeah, that makes sense. I mean, she's going down a journey of self discovery, so this would be one of
Mhm.
the things she had to discover.
Um, so I don't know, like the curse of long life. You know what I mean? She's like, oh wow, like this is a case study of it. Like, you're an elderly dwarf that like has lived so long that you barely remember the person that you love, and even if she came back, like she wouldn't remember, like, the world that like is left here. You know what I mean? Like, there's not enough left to be worth it here. And I don't know, there's just sort of like a curse to that, and she's just like, I think it just hit her for the first time. You know what I mean? That this is going down this way. So I
Can I
don't know,
say
I thought
something
that was
that really quick?
interesting.
Just a passing
Yeah.
thought, and I've had this passing thought ever since like episode one. Um, I'm pretty sure you noticed it, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. Don't you think there's like overarching theme of like long life and being remembered and stuff like that, just being spewed throughout the entirety of these episodes?
Oh,
Like
100%.
this isn't the last time. This isn't the first time we've heard these words of like people being
Hmm.
remembered in the world. I'm just saying, I just noticed it being spewed throughout the entirety of this season so far. I don't know if they're going to continue
Hmm.
it, but I'm surprised that it's been a constant theme. But back to you.
But this one is unique because in this one they come across like not just Old Man Vol, but at the end of the episode they come across a second case where they're like, oh, here's this statue of a something. We're not 100% sure what it is. This hero, we know he's some sort of hero still. We're pretty sure about that. And there's two of them. And we every few years, every 10 years or so, we go out and we polish the statue, or at least I do. Nobody else would. And we don't really know anything else about it. That's as far as we get with it. And that's got to bother Farron a little bit too, right? That like, like that whole thing of like these people just completely will eventually forget all about us.
I mean, it probably didn't bother her at first, but I guess as she's done doing this journey, then yeah, it's starting to bother her. I mean,
Yeah,
but luckily
just
she's
the
got the.
idea.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I mean, it was a dumb thing. It was just like she got the statue, so I mean, granted, that doesn't help people forgetting you unless there's an somebody actively remembering you versus just there being a statue. But yeah, again, I guess that's just a theme that's being spewed about. Is like I don't know if I want to call it the curse of long living, but at this point, it sounds like it's what's going on. There's a curse of living a long life, longer than average. basically.
Um, even Sign's subplot a little bit is like sort of showing how everybody fades if you really think about it, because he's like talking to everybody and they're like, oh yeah, I sort of remember him, you know what I mean? And Frieren's watching them go from town to town and people saying like, I guess the primary reason I remember who he is because of his goofy name, you know what I mean? And like Frieren being like, wow, like that's not something that's going to stick forever, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Man, I think still, I mean, people still remembered him even if it wasn't like a full on memory. It's like, and honestly, I mean, for him, it wasn't a goofy name. It was a name he wanted people to take seriously, and it sounds like people did because like every time he brought him up, he was like, "Oh, Mr. Gorilla." I was like, "Oh, really, Mr. Gorilla?"
Mhm. That's what I mean, though. Like, I mean, the audience recognizes Gorilla Man as being sort of silly, even if the characters in the story don't. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, I'll do my best to buy that Gorilla Man is a serious thing, but there is that sense, you know what I mean, that things have changed a bit. So I don't know, like, I don't know. It's supposed to be ridiculous, and I think you're supposed to struggle a little bit to take it fully seriously, you know.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really struggle to take it seriously. I mean, I did kind of laugh and chuckle, but it was just more like I took him seriously on the concept that, I only really took it seriously on the fact that he wanted people to remember him. I think that's like where it was easier for me to accept. It was like, okay, well, people will remember that, or people won't. There's only two ways, an on and off switch.
Yeah, but I don't know. But like, remember, Frieren is kind of like comparing him to Himmel a lot too. You know what I mean? So I don't know. She's seeing like, this guy went from town to town, did good deeds. We're going from town to town doing good deeds. Like this is starting to feel less notable. You know what I mean? Like it seems like people do this from time to time, and like I'm starting to feel a little bit like maybe this legacy that I'm leaving behind isn't the most invincible thing in the world. There's got to be like a little bit of a sense of that.
Man, I feel like I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying. Well, thanks to that statue, at least for me, it kind of cleared something up that I was kind of curious about. Was like, are there more than just the heroes that are getting statues? Like, clearly, Croc got a statue for something he did. So that means there are definitely more heroes out there who have statues laying around, possibly. And maybe most of them are destroyed because of how the world keeps changing, or two, they're still around and some places are keeping them up and some places just aren't. And we had that
Yeah.
one town from back then who keeps polishing that statue of Himmel, but none of them really remember it too much. Only one old lady remembers that statue's out there, and no one else sees to remember it's out there. One that's got the flowers growing around it. Yeah, I think it's like, I think it makes sense that she's like, I think it makes sense that she's realizing that time is a cruel mistress.
Well, anyway, I don't know if I have a lot more than that, but those are like the big overarching things that it just kind of struck me,
Yeah. I guess any small little thing you want to touch on, or are you good?
I think I'm good from there. Sorry.
No problem. Okay. I think with that next week we'll come back for another episode of. Wait, next week is the week of 4th of July, but that's on a Fridays, no Saturdays. So I think we're still good, unless you got something going on next week.
Don't seem to.
Okay. I mean, that can change on a whim. Who knows? I will.
Oh,
Huh?
I see. You think I change on a whim.
No, it's not
You
that. I
think
just
I'm
feel like you might have forgotten. You might have
you
forgotten
think I'm
something
an
you set up.
unreliable man. I see how it is.
No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just that you may plan something you don't mean to, and you're trying to. I know every time you do something like that, you have to change up plans. I know you feel bad. I'm just saying, like, don't. If you do have something, you do set something up to be planned for the Because even though it's like next week is early, like June, still June, like June 29th. I didn't really realize this, but like next week, like 4th of July happens. Like good gracious, that came quick. But if that next week we'll watch next episode of Frieren. I think there's like 28 episodes, and we're like more than halfway there. Hold up. Yes, 28 episodes. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12 episodes left in season 1. And we already know that season 2 is very short. 10 episodes.
Right.
And then we already know season 3 is coming out next year in October, so there's that as well.
That'll be fun. Do you have, I know this is thinking way too far ahead, but like, do you have any theories about where you'll go after this? Like, any ideas what show?
I personally haven't thought too much, because I figure what will happen. This is my I figured that once we done, well, I don't know when this is season 1's gonna end for us, but I was like, I feel like maybe we do the Avatar movie in between, and then do season 2 of this show. After that, I haven't really thought too much. I like there are like other isekai shows out there to do magic, but I don't think we're gonna do those. I mean, it sort of catches either one of our eyes, or maybe we'll hear about the next season of Mighty Nine. I'm not gonna hold my breath on that one, but something may pop up. I mean, I'm not saying that there won't be. And I got some small ideas that I completely forgot that I always stuck away for later for something. So like are scrolling through stuff. I keep forgetting that Ace Attorney has an anime, but I already played the game, so I always could throw a harem up on here, but I had to search the harems. But yeah, with that, I'm gonna end it here, folks. See you guys next week.
All right, my friend.